Hi, everybody. Good evening. It's 6 p.m. Irish time and 8 p.m. Eastern European time. So good evening, wherever you are. This is an information session about the EIT Climate Kick, Climate Leadership Journey. We expect this presentation will be about 20 minutes or so, and then we're going to open the floor to some questions and answers. It's being recorded, so we're going to share this after the session. Okay, so let me first introduce what this is all about. The Climate Leadership Journey is a brand new program which has been offered by EIT Climate Kick and partners across Europe. EIT Climate Kick, if you haven't heard of it, they're Europe's largest knowledge and innovation community who are working towards a carbon neutral and climate resilient society. So they are co-funded by the European Union across Europe, and the Climate Leadership Journey is one of their flagship educational offerings. Within Ireland, so I'm joining you from Dublin in Ireland. This is co-funded by the Higher Education Authority, the HEA, and you'll see their logo on the bottom left. So this information session is really about some background to the program, what is involved, and how you can apply. So as the name suggests, the Climate Leadership Journey, it's around providing skills in climate leadership. It's called a journey because often for participants, this is quite a personal journey in enhancing their personal and transferable skills. The program, it runs between April and December, and it's all about sustainability with a large emphasis on systems innovation. And as I mentioned, honing or enhancing leadership skills, particularly when applied to climate action. So for many people, this activity, it's an extracurricular activity. It may form part of a university curriculum. However, if you're not currently at university and you're a graduate, this is still open to you. It is very much kind of participant-centric or student-centric of participants. It's very much demand-led, and it's very much challenge-based, which means there is a lot of scope to adapt this for your own personal or local needs. As I mentioned, the program runs between April and December of this year. It is a part-time activity in that it's designed to run in conjunction with either a full-time employment or being a full-time student at university. What is it all about? Really, it's about spreading and amplifying the whole message of climate action. And it's there really to enable participants to become leaders in this area within their local communities. A highlight, which we often hear for people, as a highlight, is a residential and international summer school. And the focus is really on learning by doing. You'll hear more about this summer school in just a minute. There is a website hosted by Climate Kick. The link is in the bottom left, and it's going to go in the chat now. And if you click on this, you'll see some more information on the program called The Journey, and some FAQs, and some additional information and testimonials. So often we get questions about who can apply. The program is open to graduates, which could include bachelors from last year's degrees, current master's students, PhD students, and also early career professionals. So open to a wide range of possible participants. It's very much an international program. So you'll see here in this slide, there are 4 separate consortia. So presenting here to you this evening is a consortium from Ireland, Latvia, and Estonia. And just in a minute, we'll introduce ourselves. But you'll also see there are other consortia operating in other EU member states, which include the Czech Republic, Italy, Netherlands, Denmark, France, and Portugal. And you'll see various logos on the slide. So all in all, between these 4 separate consortia, each of us will recruit 40 students within our own countries. So we're interested in recruiting students and early career professionals from Ireland, Latvia, and Estonia. And overall, there will be some 160 students or early career professionals recruited to this program right across the EU. So to say a little bit about us as a consortium, my name is Quentin Crowley. I'm an associate professor in the School of Natural Sciences within Trinity College Dublin, located in Dublin, the capital city of Ireland. I recognize some names of people attending this webinar as students enrolled in Trinity College. What can I say about Trinity? It was established in 1592. It's a long-established university. So if you come to the summer school in Dublin, you'll be hosted in Trinity College. And I'm going to pass over to my colleagues in Latvia and Estonia to introduce themselves and their own organizations.
Hi, everyone. My name is Santa Kristina, and Santa is really my name for those who are not from Latvia. It always makes some fun when people hear my name. And I represent Riga Technical University, and it is based in Riga, the capital of Latvia. And we are engineering university and the largest university in Latvia. And we are part of European Innovation and Technology Institute Climate Kick, and we have hub as well. So we are running this program and several other programs of Climate Kick. I personally will be involved in this program, and you will be in contact with me during this period of year. So I pass it to Katerina.
Great, thank you very much, Santa. So my name is Katerina Hanzi. I'm from Greece, but here, so my name doesn't sound Estonian at all. I'm working and representing Cleantech Estonia. So I'm working there as a project manager, and one of the projects that I'm running is the Journey. It's the second time that I'm organizing it here in Estonia, and I'm an old alumni from the Journey as well. But in Cleantech Estonia, we're not doing only that. We're actually part of EIT RIS countries since 2015, and we have implemented many climate kick programs besides the Journey as the Climate Accelerator, Climate Launchpad, Pioneers into Practice, and the Climathon. And what we intend to do is to accelerate the green transition and boost clean tech startups and support green entrepreneurship in Estonia. And our activities range from policy development to accelerator programs. So that's a little bit about what we do, and we're actually pretty happy to continue the journey with not only Estonian or Baltic countries as Latvia, but also to include Ireland. So I'm going to talk about inspiration first, because it's the first element that climate leadership journey brings here, and how we're going to get inspired about climate action and how we can think about system innovation, get the skills that are needed today and also in the future. So in this 9 months of that program, the first inspiration session starts on 29th of April, an event that will last for 2.5 days, I would say, 29th and 30th of April, with the Digital Climate Leadership Journey kickoff event, where we will have the opportunity to actually get to know each other, get to know the organization, Climate Kick, and also understand why it is important to participate in this program and how this 9 months were a role actually for us. And from May until December, we will have the opportunity to discover more and put our hands, let's say, into dirt through different lectures or workshops to get the skills that are needed for system change and tackle climate change through the Spark experiences that we will spend, I think, 5 mostly different evenings together once per month, learning about the skills throughout these workshops. And by the end of the journey in December, when the year ends and we reflect also what we have done throughout the year, we will see what we have done throughout the journey. So during the summit, we will have the final event of the program, and we will have the opportunity to show off the success stories, to graduate, to get together again and reflect about what has been done, and also is a great opportunity to network with the whole community as well. So that's the one pillar. The second pillar of the climate leadership journey is the experiential learning. we don't learn just in theoretical base about what is climate change, but we learn through living into that. We learn through experiencing that. And in order to do so, we have prepared for you a summer school that will take place in July. For 2 weeks, you will have the opportunity to come together with other participants in some of these amazing locations around Europe and one of the partner universities, and work together with your group to discover all the climate challenges and actually try and practice whatever you have learned throughout the Spark events. And it's great to learn how to work with others, and it's great to learn how to work in a network, but also we are all individuals and we all have an impact in the world. We are all change leaders. So you will have the opportunity during the individual impact project, together with your coordinators, the coaches, and your own peers, to plan how to drive change in an area that speaks to your heart and you want to actually make an impact. And this will happen after the journey. So you'll get the skills, you will have all the inspiration, you will have all the tools and all the support needed from the network from the journey. And then you will work in the project that speaks to your heart. And while I'm talking about support, we're talking mostly about the third pillar, that is the personal development. So you will not just develop as a climate leader, but in general as a leader. And in order to do so, we have organized for you some group coaching sessions. So that means that every month you're meeting with your group and you're meeting with your coach in order to strengthen your leadership skills, to solve any type of problems, mostly related to climate change, but in general, all the societal challenges that come from there. And these meetings will take place once per month. And also you will have the opportunity for individual coaching. So if you need extra support from your coaches will be there on individual request to address the challenges that you're facing. And you will have the learning log. The learning log, as I call it, is the Bible of the journey. So it's a very nice tool that you can use to reflect, and you can use during the whole journey from April until December, that you can take some actions and reflect and find out the skills that are needed for become a change leader. I know that there are a lot of information, a lot of activities. So it's great to break that down and see what you have to do, let's say, per month. So we start in April on the 29th with a kickoff event that we get together and we talk about how to get to know each other and how the journey will roll for the upcoming months. In the period from May to June, you start with some of the Spark events to get the skills and the work through lectures and workshops and the group coaching sessions. And this will happen 3 times. So once per month for Sparks and group coaching. Then we have the highlights as I could say, of the journey, that is the summer school, the international experience that you will have for working 2 weeks in partner location and addressing topics as climate change, system change, leadership, and the outcome of that will be your group projects. The potential destinations are Ireland, Italy, Portugal, and Czech Republic. And in August, it's time to get everything settled down and get some rest and some vacation. And then we continue again from September to November with the Spark events and the group coaching sessions and the individual coaching as well if you need it. And during that period, you actually start your impact project, your individual impact project that you have to put into action. And in December, we get again all together and we reflect on what has happened throughout this period and see our success stories, and you get the certificate as well of your participation in the program. Something quite important to mention is that in order to get the certificate and complete the program, you have to participate in all of these activities, which means that the kickoff event that will take place in April, you have to be there. You have to attend 4 group coaching sessions out of 6, if I'm not mistaken, to participate in 3 Spark events that are delivered by the partners, and 2 special Spark events that will be delivered from Climate Kick. These are the mandatory ones. To participate in the summer school as well during July, and in the last event in December, the Digital Community Summit. Nice. And about the deliverables, you have to write also some things. So it's great to learn about things, but we have to prove somehow that we learned them. So by the end of the summer school, by the end of July, you have to deliver your group project as a deliverable, and you have until September to finalize and submit your individual impact project, the ambition one. And what means the ambition is what you're planning to do, what you're planning to implement during the next few months. And in November, when you have actually put your ambitious plan into action, you have to reflect upon it to see what went well, what didn't go well, what we could do different, and so on. And as we coming closer to December and the end of the year, you have to submit as well your learning assessment through your learning log. So basically submit a reflection for the whole project regarding your leadership skills.
And now we go to the practical topics as travel, costs and funding, and all the logistics. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can type them in the chat. And also after this presentation, you'll be able to voice it out and unmute yourself. So going back to the practical things. So I would say that all the costs are covered except a couple of things, which is the travel costs to and from the summer school. And also during the journey, summer school, local accommodation, breakfast and lunches are covered, but dinner are also is something what you will need to think of. And we have a special offer for students or young professionals who are joining the program to have a discount if you travel with Interrail. So those who will be participants of the program will get additional information how to get this discount.
Just to mention, in Ireland, the summer school is supported through the Human Capital Initiative, administered by the Higher Education Authority, for a new project, Ireland's Knowledge Centre for Carbon and Climate.
And here you can see the link where you will need to apply. It's a simple Google form, and my colleagues will post it in the chat as well. So what you will find out in the Google form is the questions about your experience and motivation. You will also need to upload your CV and upload short video where you explain what is your motivation to participate in this program. So the deadline of the application is 4th of April, and additional information and questions and answers you can find also on the Journey website. And you can see the photo of the website where there are different pieces and bits where you can actually browse through, and also blog information where there are success stories from the previous participants and hosts as well. So you can get the taste how it all will go on and what have happened last years. And for additional information, you can contact us. In Latvia, it's me, Santa Kristina. In Estonia, it's Katerina. And in Ireland, it's Quentin. And yeah, you feel free to contact us in case you have any, either the technical problems or issues, or you want to clarify something, or you want to send this information to others, but you cannot find the link to the video or anything what pops up, we are open to answer. So I think at the moment it's all from our side, and we see that we are quite a good group, and we would like to know if you have any questions or clarifications we can give an answers to.
Thanks, Santa. Thanks, Katerina. I see a first question is coming from Paul. It says, can I participate in this project if I'm a third-year undergraduate student, but not yet the last year of my studies? Well, typically, this is specially reserved for master's and PhD levels. This year, we're opening this for early career professionals, and generally speaking, for final year undergraduates for their bachelor's program. However, having said that, if it's something that you're really interested in, I'd still encourage you to apply because you may be put on a reserve list and then accepted at a later date. The application process, it's quite quick. As Santa just outlined, it's a Google form with an upload for your CV and a short motivational video. So I'd say, Paul, there's no harm in making an application and you may well be selected. So
there is more questions coming up.
Yeah, maybe Santa, you want to read one?
So there is a question about summer school. Is it virtual or in person? So summer school will be in person, if only, nowadays we never know, but we plan it to have physical. And as Katerina mentioned, there are 4 places where summer schools this year will happen. And the students will get to know information by May where they will be located. And kickoff event and other events as coaching or Sparks will be virtual. Yes.
I'd say there's also a possibility if we have several participants who are located in the same region or city, there might also be an opportunity for them to be co-located during activities. So for instance, in Trinity College, if there are several participants in Ireland who want to come to Dublin for a Spark event or a coaching session, we can provide some physical space for these participants to be together and then connect online with the rest of the community.
Yes. There is also one more question about, do you need already a project idea before applying? So no, you don't need. So you can apply if you're interested in the topics, what we mentioned, and this program provides. And you need to have motivation and interest. That's most important thing.
Yeah, and I would add to that if you have experience or you have a project and you would like to highlight that in your application, that would be great, but you don't need to come up with something new just for applying to the project.
Yes, and about the motivational video, I see that already there were chatting between you. So yeah, it should be 1 minute long. And as Paddy is asking, is there any tips or advice for the motivation video? I would say that it would be open for others as well to share if you have any tips. I know that some people already applied, so if you want to share some suggestions, then it's floor to you. Katerina writes, surprise us. Yes, it's also a nice approach. So I think most important thing, what I could point out from my side is that we are interested in your motivation, and whatever is there, it is fine. And from the video, we can get the feeling and energy of what comes from your side, and if you're really interested to be one of the participants.
I see there's a question about disability and possible difficulties traveling abroad. So we don't want any barriers to be present for the program. So I'd encourage you to apply. And if you're offered a place, then certainly this is something which can be discussed in terms of travel arrangements or local arrangements. So as a general rule, if you're an Ireland-based participant, you will go to a summer school in another country. But it's possible that if you're based in Ireland, an exception can be made and you could stay in Ireland to participate. So that's always a possibility. There's a question from Katrin. What are the scopes of the deliverables, report, assessment, and essay? It's a big question. We could talk for a long time about that, but let me just say that it'll be very clearly explained in the kickoff event, and this will be reiterated with your expert coaches. So you've heard that you have dedicated coaching sessions, and we as a consortium not only will we recruit 40 students or participants for the program, but we're also recruiting 2 professional coaches. So you will work with the 2 coaches over the course of the next 9 months in the program. So the coaches will be on hand to explain about things like the scope of the deliverables. And these will be given to you in an information pack as kind of a manual for the program as well.
Maybe adding on this, this is not something very large documents or very detailed. There'll be clear guidelines how to do that. And for sure, more important when we talk about this program is your experience. And the report is something what, yeah, it's more as an outcome to see what you have gained. Yeah. And I think Katerina, from her personal experience as alumni, could share about this part, how it is to work on the deliverables of the program.
Well, I would say that sometimes it sounds like when you hear the first time how many things you have to do, it might sound overwhelming that you have to do a lot of things. But throughout the process, you understand that it's not something that you cannot actually do. And it's actually quite important that you have the deliverables. That is not just, okay, we come together and we talk about things and then you have all the skills and all the knowledge, all the tools, but it's a very good way to reflect upon what you have learned, actually, what has stayed with you. And so that is one of the scopes, I would say, from the technical side, and also for climate cake and reporting aspect, to know that, you know, we have delivered what we promised to do. And about the content, is not something that you need to be afraid of. And the deadlines are very clear. The support is very important, and you have, as Quentin mentioned, 2 great coaches with very long-term experience from previous journeys, and hosts like 3 of us that have hosted the journey for years already. So don't worry that you will miss a deadline or something will go wrong. You will have people all the time to ask things, and also they will definitely remind you several times to whatever you need to do. So I hope that answers, but if you have more questions regarding that, I will be happy to contribute.
Thanks, Katerina. Are there any more questions? Feel free to type them in the chat box, or if you wish, you can unmute your mic.
Hi, Quentin. Sorry, I hope to ask briefly. What's the scope, I suppose, of an act? You know, it seems like that's part of deliverables, that, you know, you go ahead and you make an action in some area that's close to your motivations. What would be an example of that, I suppose, that would be somewhat tangible? Yeah.
Hey, Donald, thanks for the question. So if I can give you an example of previous activities, I've run a summer school with Climate Kick since 2017. And there have been a lot of different projects which have come out of this. So really, this is the start of a journey in innovation and leadership. There are common themes from year to year. Quite popular are things like food systems, so innovating food systems. In Ireland, this is a really big challenge because we know that a large proportion of our greenhouse gas emissions come from agriculture. And this is just land use in agriculture. And as we're seeing at the moment, partly because of climate change, but also because of other things which are going on in the world right now, our food systems are really under pressure. So it's difficult to say a specific topic, but generally these will be project ideas which are close to these people's hearts and are very prominent within their local communities.
I could add something to that. So basically, during the journey, you will learn how to intervene into a system, like how you can take action. And then when you have all these possibilities ready and the topics that we will address throughout the journey and the sparks, then you can somehow choose, let's say, the way, the target audience that you want to make your intervention, either through entrepreneurship or community building or anything else. And you will have the opportunity to actually put it into practice, not just as theoretical, that it could be, okay, I would like to do that, but how it would be to actually do that. What steps do I need to intervene in the system and do the change I want to do?
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
I'll read another question from JN. It says, would you say the program is more geared towards people interested in the business side of climate or sustainability, or rather people focused on policy and action? I wouldn't say it's a one-size-fits-all model, and really, because we're opening the program to early career professionals, we hope that some people will be more interested in the business side, not necessarily to form a startup as a profit-making company. It could be a social enterprise, or alternatively, they may want to change the role within their organization and become an entrepreneur, leading change from within the organization. So particularly in areas of corporate climate responsibilities and action from within companies. So really, you know, the program, it's called the journey because it's the start of a journey. And there are many different directions that individuals may take on this journey. And the focus is on the methodology. It's on systems thinking and systems innovation, about developing transferable skills and leadership, and then coming together with individuals, developing project ideas, and then taking things out on your own and developing your own project idea, and then bringing this all back together at the end. So there are many different trajectories or, you know, directions in which this could be taken. I think there's one more. Yes. Am I right to assume you're looking for rather industrial CVs and not academic CVs? So really what we're looking for is to give a snapshot of, you know, who you are and your experiences to date. This could include things like, you know, your degrees or where you're based, what your interests are, if you're currently employed, what your roles are, if you volunteered, you know, but also things like hobbies and what you're really interested in. So try and be a bit creative with this to show your personality and not just your experiences. And also, of course, with the motivational video, that's important too.
I'll say again, surprises, either with the CV or the video. It's mostly to see that the interest and the fact that you want to do something and start this journey, regardless of it is from the entrepreneurial side or the policy action. I think that's in order to strive into a net zero economy, we need both. So it is important that we highlight actually, and we bring a more diverse amount of people that are interested in climate change and in the journey, rather than just have, you know, all typical the same, because in that way you cannot find solutions.
Okay, I don't think there are any more questions. So we'll close the session, and just to say thank you very much for attending. Please reach out to us if you have additional questions. We hope you consider making an application. Best of luck with that. And really, it is a fantastic experience. I wish that I was at the stage of my career where I could apply for something like this now. We wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Thank you very much, and hope you will be one of the lucky ones.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.